Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show where a man completely immersed in anime culture torments his co-host, who is only allowed to watch the shows featured here. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. Alongside over 100 hours of exclusive bonus material, all episodes uploaded to Patreon are completely ad-free, even to non-patrons. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I decide maybe it's a good idea to sacrifice my son.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase. No, I'm sacrificing my son, not our daughter, all right? Samantha's safe. She's fine.
Yes. God, it's been a while since you've had an out of context one of those that is genuinely going to be confusing for a lot of people, even some of the people who listen to the pre-banter.
That's fine.
I'm not going to elaborate. They can check themselves. But Remington, last week it got me thinking. It got me thinking about a lot of things, especially in regards to literature.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I did.
Theoretically, this could be going a good direction.
Yeah, and just the idea of our spiraling discovery into what the original source material for the movie was and what was added and what wasn't original in the original story is fascinating to me. And because of that, I was like, there's a seasonal anime that came out recently that I can very easily make as a good follow-up. So I bumped it up in the order a bit. Because, Remington, today we're going to be talking about another novel adaptation. But don't worry, Rem, it's not a Japanese novel.
Okay. Is this going to be some Ghibli shit where he's a Teaboo?
No. This is actually a Canadian novel, Rem.
Oh, man. All right.
And it's not a Ghibli film either.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. Ghibli doesn't give a fuck about Canada. Doesn't give two shits about Canada, all right? It's England or nothing for that fuck, all right? You can have England, you can have Japan. Those are the two locations that exist for Ghibli.
What about the third mystical, fantasy realms?
Oh, you mean fantasy Japan or fantasy England? All right, I guess add those two.
Oh, God. Well, hey, that's not entirely incorrect, I would say. But yeah, no, Rem, this is so it's an adaptation of some classic literature, actually, Rem.
Okay, all right.
And you're a big fan of classic literature.
Sure, yes, quite a bit so, yeah.
Yeah, and there's another thing I know you're a big fan of, and that's children's literature.
Yeah, okay, all right. Where are we going
so
with
tell
this,
me, Remington, how would you feel if I told you that in the year of our Lord 2025, there was a anime adaptation of Anne of Green Gables?
Okay, all right. First of all, learned it's Canadian just now.
Well, I mean, it's set in Canada.
It's one I'm less familiar with, for sure. But does seem like a strange choice. Then again, I guess there's it's been adapted plenty, so
yeah. So
maybe that means that it has to be at least okay? ?
I mean, tell me, Rem, what do you know about Anne of Green Gables? Then, let's have a little bit of a literature refresher. Let's find out what your knowledge is going into it. Have you actually read the book yourself, or are you just more or less familiar?
No.
Okay.
Well, of course, you have Anne.
Okay.
The thing to know about her is that her gable's quite green. Quite green.
Jesus Christ. My God, Rem, she's 11.
And I'm gonna assume that that's ivy on the house or something, right? And furthermore, obviously, she's visited by a
three
rich
ghosts?
man. A rich man named Daddy Warbucks. She starts singing, and there's a couple of scumbags trying to take the easy street, steal some money. That doesn't work. And eventually she lives happily ever after with Daddy Warbucks, and that's the plot of Little Orphan Anne of Green Gables.
Well, unfortunately, it's not, Rem, because. Look, believe it or not, you did get one thing correct about this.
Was it the Gables?
No. No, this is a story about Anne, a young orphan.
Well, see, sounds like I nailed it.
Yes, because, Annie famously taking place in New York.
Yeah. Which
Definitely not Canada.
It's close. It's up there.
It's up there, I suppose. It's north of us,
Where-
technically.
Where in Canada does it take place?
Well, it takes place in
If it's on the southeast of Canada, then maybe they just were a little bit inaccurate.
Well, she's an orphan from Nova Scotia,
Okay?
and she moves to
I think that's southeast.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Our Canadian audiences will let us know, though. I feel like East and West Canada are fully different beasts.
Yeah, southeast, baby. Fuck you. All right. See, so you could squint and call it New York.
Well, it doesn't take place in Nova Scotia, I don't think.
All right, where does it take place?
Green Gables.
Oh my god, this piece of shit.
It's I believe Prince Edward Island, which I think is pretty damn close to Nova Scotia.
Hey!
Let me just pull up the old maps real quick just to make sure I'm not bullshitting you.
All right, so she's an orphan. She's living the hard knock life.
For us, yeah. But no, it is.
But she has hope because the sun will come out tomorrow.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't think that you would, fully musical theater nerd the situation, when I know for a fact that you and I did musical theater together.
Yeah, I would say, I was, because I was a poor kid, I was the least musical theater nerd out of basically everybody else in theater.
Yeah.
They all had parents that could afford to take them to shows.
Yes.
And so they would often make references. I had no idea what the fuck was going on, but I was in Little Orphan Annie in when I was 13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, and you played Daddy Warbucks, right?
I played Daddy Warbucks. I played the most famous bald man in musical theater with my luscious locks. You're damn right.
So good theater is all about breaking the norm sometimes. As long as you portray the character accurately, they won't care if you have long luscious locks or are as bald as the day is long.
It's one of the rare ones where I'm more of a caring father figure rather than a skeevy asshole.
Yeah.
I played a lot of skeevy assholes.
Either that or skeevy himbos. Those are
Yeah.
You get character cast pretty frequently back in the day.
All right, so Shaun, continue with what the fuck is going on.
So Anne of Green Gables is about our little orphan Anne. It's a book from 1908, by the way.
Sure.
Right? So, quite a while. And it's about 11-year-old Anne Shirley being sent to live with two middle-aged siblings after being shuffled around from foster home to foster home to foster home throughout her entire childhood, more or less. And it's essentially just I would almost describe it as a slice of life story about just this little orphan Anne and her new life in this kind of off-kilter setting and how she makes do and the people around her.
All right, but of course we're not just reading a classic book. We're watching the anime adaptation, which could be anywhere from a faithful recreation to just having a protagonist named Anne and literally having no other connection. So we can have the entire spread available to us here.
Mm-hmm. And it's one of those stories that has been adapted so many times in so many countries throughout the years.
I'm just waiting for this to be like a shonen isekai, and it's like, Anne, she pops up, Green Gable Overdrive.
Green Gable Overdrive. I love that. That is wonderful. I love that. That's great. Oh my god. Holy shit.
That's some shit if JoJo, instead of rock and roll, was more focused on old literature.
Yeah. Which, I'm down for. As somebody who's played City of Mist, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But, oh my Christ, yeah. But no, it's been adapted so many times. And this isn't actually, the anime we're going to be talking about today is actually not the first time this story has been adapted into an anime. It's just one that happened to be adapted this year. The anime we're talking about today is called Anne Shirley, which is just, the name of the main character.
Sure.
But it was also adapted into an anime back in 1989, I believe. I think so. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I think it was just like an anime film, just a short one.
Sure.
It's been adapted so many freaking times in so many different countries, and I think Japan in general just is kind of a fan of the story. So seeing a modern adaptation in 2025 is definitely an interesting one. I think it might be public domain now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anybody can make an adaptation of Anne of Green Gables if they really want.
So we can make the shonen isekai.
Anne of Green Gables. Yeah, we absolutely could. We absolutely could. Just have an 11-year-old be hit by a truck.
Just a fucking Model T.
Yep. Oh God. Yeah, that's a possibility. And there's not really much else to say, Rem. Because it's an adaptation of a beloved children's story from years and years and years ago. And I was just curious to see what you would think of this adaptation and if it at all made you curious about the original story, or if it would make you interested in really just the perspective of the story from a Japanese creators and such.
Sure.
Like it's interesting to think that this is one of those stories that is quite global in a lot of ways, and what different cultures see in it, more or less.
Yeah. Is there a weird fucky twist I should be expecting?
No, Rab, genuinely, I could not be more straightforward about this.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
like there's no sudden, oh no, Anne is actually a cannibal and is eating her middle-aged adoptive parents over and over and over again. No, there's nothing like that. It is quite literally just little poor orphan is incredibly positive throughout her life, despite the fact that, you know, she's been shuffled around, and just the story of her hopefully finding a new home and the people that she interacts with.
Hell yeah.
It's supposed to be just a nice, wholesome children's story.
But what if she was truck food?
That's a different story. That's a different story.
Don't get me wrong. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna watch the anime, do all that stuff. But in the back of my mind, the whole time, I'm gonna be thinking,
what if she got hit by a truck?
What if she got hit by a truck and got sent? I don't even know. Wait, because there's so little. A story like this, like it's like allergic to being adapted into shonen isekai.
Mm-hmm. But you would love to see it tried.
Yeah.
But honestly, Rem, I just found our discussion on like novels and adaptation and literature so fun last week that the idea of a classic children's novel being adapted into a modern anime seemed like a very silly idea. So I bumped it up and want to see what you think of it. See if there's any merit here, or if this is just, if there isn't as much there as there could be.
All right, well, let's see.
All right, so without further ado, let's go watch some Anne Shirley. And we are back after watching the first 5 episodes of the 2025 adaptation of Anne of Green Gables, Anne Shirley. So, Rem, are you feeling classically literaturely inclined? I know that second word wasn't a word, but let's go with it.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I'm filled with the literature. I have, just like every Saturday night at our classic book club / fetish parties, I fill you up with literature.
Jesus Christ. And here I was gonna mention your very hiatus-filled Toby literature club, but now that feels like a bad line to go down. That feels like the kind of line that would get people in trouble. The cat is not fine too, Rem.
Oh, man. Shaun, how about, since you brought it up, since we're talking about literature, Toby Literature Club, how about a poem?
I'm sorry. Are you asking me to just whip out a poem right here, right now?
No, I'll pull one up.
Oh, okay. All right, sure. Why not? Nothing really gets the chuckles going like a random spontaneous poem.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like, if anything, we should have more spontaneous poems.
I see. I see. I'm not going to agree with you, but I'm curious to see where this goes.
I'm literally just finding a poem of the day.
I see.
All right, that one's too long. Let's try again. It's never the first poem that you find that's the one you go with. You gotta
go with the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a keyword you're interested in, Shaun?
Short.
Short.
Because we are on a time crunch.
All right, here we go. Short ode to screwball women.
What? You know what?
On sullen nights like these, when my spirit counts its woes, like, wait, you interrupted the poem, Shaun. Just accept the screwball women. Are you against screwball women?
Not at all.
Now you don't get the short ode to screwball women. You've ruined it.
Okay, first I need to clarify something. Remington, did it sound like I interrupted you? Or did you just decide to do that like 10 seconds after I said it?
You definitely interrupted.
That was weird, because, yeah, I guess Discord just had a massive delay for no real reason.
The fuck is happening anymore? All right. Well, you all can look up the Ode to Screwball Women.
I'm sure it's a perfectly fine poem.
To keep on this tangent, that one day we'll get back to the anime, I promise.
Ah.
But it would be a fascinating and awful episode of the podcast where we're on a 10-second delay for each other.
Oh, God.
So we just have to vibe it out and hope.
And hope. Be very patient and wait for responses.
No, that's cowardice. All right, you just can't. You have to make it feel natural. Even though it will be anything but maybe 10-second. Let's say a 3-second delay.
Yeah, that sounds like the worst thing ever, Remington. That sounds like the opposite of what you want for your fairly fast-paced comedy anime podcast.
But it might be what the people want.
You know, you call yourself what's the people. I feel like they disagree with you on this one.
I think the people are curious. I think the people, they're tentatively interested.
Then they can listen to amateur podcasts from the early 2010s, because that is what it is a lot of the time.
All right. Anyway, anime and whatnot.
Yes. Anne Shirley, what are your thoughts on this? Are you fascinated by a children's tale being adapted in the year of our Lord 2025? Are you more interested in the history of why that is? Or are you just like, this is a thing that exists?
Yeah, I'm interested in a lot of things. It is a bit of a strange creation, but sure, why not?
Yeah.
And right off the bat, like, visually, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like if you took a little bit of Ghibli,
Okay,
and then mixed that. What was the magical girl anime that everybody jumped on the bandwagon to hate? That was like mediocre to a little bit, and it was like unpolished, but everybody despised it for some reason.
Oh God, I genuinely blocked it out of my memory.
It was colorful.
Yeah, it was a Crunchyroll original from like 3 years ago or something like that. I know which one you're talking about. Crunchyroll original, very ham-fisted in a lot of ways, and
there was like a magical school.
Yeah.
Oh, High Guardian Spice. There we go.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, it's as if you took Ghibli and High Guardian Spice, which are very different visual styles. But if you combined them, you get Anne Shirley.
That is a very disparate split down the middle, my friend.
And yet I think I fucking nailed it.
Sure.
Am I wrong? Take a look at Anne Shirley's, just her whole design.
No, like it's very like
that's High Guardian Spice meets Ghibli.
Sure, Rem, sure.
You say sure because you don't want to commit to the truth. Anybody who doubts me
I just prefer to forget
look.
about that show in general, personally, Rem.
It was overhated. It wasn't good, but it was overhated. So overall, a nice visual style. It's got a good rhythm. Sometimes, especially in like the first episode, the over-the-top like anime reactions and facial expressions don't always work, especially when it's like still has a lot of like Ghibli-esque elements where it's a little more focused on realism, right? And exaggerations, but in a more deliberate fashion. So occasionally you'll just have like more tropey anime reaction faces. And sometimes they're fine. Sometimes they just don't quite they don't quite mesh with everything else. But we get, of course, we have Anne, and she gets dropped off. She meets Mr. Cuthbert, and she's very precocious. She's interested in a lot of things, likes big words, very, very headstrong. And so they go on a nice little trip back to Green Gables, back to her Anne's new home, right? She's been adopted. But Mrs. Cuthbert was expecting a boy and is pissed. And Anne doesn't like hearing that, so now Anne's pissed. And so now everyone's upset, and Mrs. C is like, hey, we'll take you back tomorrow. And so the next day they go to take her back, but only a fucking evil witch who is interested in taking it.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I know where you're like,
Your
hey,
Nova Scotian evil witches that are coming to take children.
You're like, God damn it, they're the only ones.
They always take the children.
And so seeing that, Mrs. Cuthbert is like, no, maybe I will keep this child even though she's a girl. And so that's basically episode 1. It's really laying the groundwork, fairly charming. And even in following episodes, this is a very slice of life show. I assume largely similar to the book. I assume it's got that kind of like Little Women vibe to it.
Correct.
Where it's focused on slice of life, and there's like storylines and story beats, but in a very matter of fact and life way, where it's just like, yeah, this is what was important for me at this time in my life, and then this thing happened, and blah blah blah. Which definitely works. It totally works. It's a very different style to most of the slice of life we see in the anime sphere, where mostly we see like slice of life comedy, where it's just wackier and zany, right? It's the difference between Little Women and Ed, Edd n Eddy. Both are slice of life narratives.
Yes.
In a very substantial way. They're very different kinds of slice of life narratives.
And I would argue, I don't think they've ever been mentioned in the same sentence before.
The first, baby. Hey.
Because that is a wild set of things to put together.
Who's your favorite character in Ed, Edd n Eddy? But when you were a child.
When I was a child, I found everything that just old Ed did was funny. That made me, like, he was the funniest thing.
I mean, I like as a kid, it was peak humor.
I mean, repeating butter toast in a silly voice was honestly the funniest thing on the face of the planet.
Hell, yeah. I don't think I appreciated Rolf enough when I was a kid, because now Rolf is hysterical.
Now he's like one of the funniest characters, but as a kid, like I didn't register that he was the best.
Yeah, you're like, I guess he's kind of funny and weird, but like now he's hysterical. And then behind Ed for me, Plank. It's just satisfying to have a plank.
You know, that I feel like a psychologist would have a field day with who your favorite characters tend to be.
We have a very slice of life story with Anne Shirley. She falls deeply in love with her neighbor, Diana, right? Is all in, and they agree to be bosom friends. Shaun, why aren't we bosom friends?
Well, because there aren't very many bosoms in our lives at this moment.
Come on, Shaun. I feel like we can be bosom friends. I feel like I'm ready to take that step. I'm ready to suckle your bosom, Shaun. Is that how that works?
No. Rem, I feel like bosom friends as a concept. I feel like you and I missed it by about 20 years and a couple centuries. Just roundabout. Like, I feel like it's just not the fashion anymore.
What if we brought it back in style? Right.
Unfortunately, I don't think we would have much success.
I think we are the trendsetters to do it.
Rem, I don't think we've ever set a trend in our lives. I
think I've started many trends, as the patron readings will show. Many of them related to you.
Again, I prefer to block things that I don't like out if I can help it. You know, I just try not to linger too long on them. You know, because oh boy.
Oh man. So we get this slice of life story going on, right? Meet Diane, fall in love with her, Diana, and all in, and boy oh boy, they're all in on each other. And even at one point, like, gets her drunk and is like, whoopsie. There's a boy at school who everybody loves, but becomes a quick rival with Anne. I mean, anytime we do slice of life, it does amount to me kind of just listing events, and it doesn't really matter, which, like, was more or less a lot of the podcast, but it doesn't matter sequentially how they go. At one point, there's a series of dares, and Anne sprains her ankle and is injured for a while. And it's just very slice of life style, right? This happens, and then we get a little bit of this. What matters is the characters. Unfortunately, the characters are plenty charming. Though, really, I would argue there's 3.5 characters that matter. You got Anne, of course. She matters. She's extremely precocious, always taking action, whether it's good or not. Very theatrically minded in a lot of ways, right? Will always act in an over-the-top manner. Then we have her adopted parents, right? The Cuthbert family. Maria Cuthbert, more stern, more grounded, I would say, but still quite compassionate. And then the father, I think his name is Matthew Cuthbert. He's a bit of a softie, right? But also he can't even shop for a dress. He's the kind where, like, if he was a girl dad, like a single girl dad, he would spend like 2 hours buying tampons for his daughter the first time. It's like he wouldn't refuse. He wouldn't refuse. He'd be like, no, I need to do this to help and support my daughter. But he'd be like, oh God.
Mhm.
Oh God. He like just what, and he's very charming. Yeah, just big softy. All three of those characters, I think, which are the most important, work quite well. We also get a little bit of character for Diane. Not much for her, but a bit. And everybody else, kind of who gives a shit. We see glimpses, and that's all we need. We get little bits and pieces. Who cares beyond that?
Well, I mean, it is a 24 episode series, so
Yeah.
there's plenty of time.
So yeah, it's just a nice little series of events. It's got pretty good vibes. It's charming. It's got a real good OP, right? It does. Normally, it has good water, but there is one part where they have CG leaves falling into the weird water, and it doesn't work. I think there might only be like 1 or 2 shots like that. Mostly,
Okay.
it's great, but for no reason, it does dabble into weird water territory.
I see.
There's not a ton more to talk about. I'm in love with you.
Yeah, so your first experience with Anne of Green Gables being the the 2025 anime adaptation didn't inspire you to go and pick up the book and see how it is originally?
I am already reading 3 books at this very moment. I cannot, unfortunately, afford to add another one. I'm already kind of swamped when it comes to my reading list, you know? So if I didn't, there's a good chance I would. If my schedule was more open, hell yeah, I'm in. Unfortunately, that's just not how it panned out, brother.
Well, hey, you can always watch this show while you're reading.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
That'd be a little bit of a dissonance.
Yeah, I'll read, I'll play some Binding of Isaac, and I will watch this all together. All at
Truly
the same time.
the ADHD experience, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be splendid. It's gonna be phenomenal.
I mean, it's only like a 350-page book, Rem.
Yeah, no, it's like I mean, I'm down to put it on the reading list, but until we start the Anime Out of Context book club, it's gonna be a while till I get around to it, you know?
Fair enough, I suppose, Rem.
And also, I'd be worried about starting the Anime Out of Context book club because the books I want to read and the books the weebs want me to read, there's overlap, but not a lot of overlap.
No. Most of the overlap is...
First of all, they'd usually be like, hey, how about a manga? And I'd be like, no. And I would have to remind them, I can't read manga. Go check out the times I've been on Shonen Flop. I'm not good at it. It doesn't work with my brain. Give me words or give me pictures. Never the twain shall meet.
Which is insane. Which is because last time you and I were on their show, I did have to do most of the talking for us.
It's just there's a lot. My brain, I can read manga, but it's effortful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be effortful. It shouldn't.
Thus far, have
should
only
just
read bad manga.
Be kind of natural. For me, it's not. I'm like, all right, let's parse this out. It's like handing your grandma a fucking game controller for the first time, right? And it's like, yeah, they can figure it out, but it's not like natural motions. It's like press R1 and they have to look at the fucking controller and be like, oh, this is R1, right?
Not to mention you've only had the displeasure of reading truly awful canceled manga.
Hey, one of the ones I did on the Shonen Flop podcast where it was interesting. It was... That's as much as I can say.
Yes.
Is that it was interesting. It had potential. And then I was told later, the Flop Boys told me where it went from there. And I was like, oh, mother of God.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to hear me struggle to parse manga, check out the Shonen Flop podcast. Both Shaun and I and Dylan have been on multiple times. So
yeah, love the boys.
Anyway, back to Anne Shirley. Not much more to say. Sometimes I feel like I'm tempted to like manufacture more words just because I'm like I want to fill a bit more time, but I also want to respect our listeners' time, and there's just not much more to say. It's a solid show. I don't think it's particularly remarkable, but it's an enjoyable time filler. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, this might come to surprise you, Remington, but this wasn't exactly high on anybody's hot lists of shows to watch in the season. Yeah, like the spring 2025 season. Yeah, like there was not a whole lot in spring 2025 that people were super thrilled about. But this one like wasn't on the list of ones to hate or the ones to love. It was more of a, oh, hey, this is a show that I noticed existed, and I was like, I find that fascinating because both you and I appreciate books quite a bit.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yes.
Japan just has like a very long, loving history of books like Anne of Green Gables specifically. And I find that, fun and fascinating. And
Even though it's Canada, it still has a bit of Tiabu vibes. It still feels
Well-
like that's what they want from it.
So no matter what, all Ghibli-esque things are British, even if they categorically do not take place in anywhere English.
A little bit. A little bit, yeah. Not
Okay.
wholly, not totally, and not factually, but like spiritually a little bit.
Okay, sure. Why not, Rem? Why not? Who would I be to disagree with your storied experience with this? And it's definitely not the case that we're gonna get email corrections saying like, well, actually, this particular anime took place in this one, even though it looks very British. It's like Rem's not gonna care. He's not gonna I'm gonna say that to him. He's gonna be like, yeah, but it's still kind of Tiabu.
Yeah. But once again, I'm not an expert on the matter. I'm not coming from a place of factual knowledge, but vibes, right? The spirit of the thing, the essence, deep in its loins, all right? That's where I'm going.
God,
I'm
again,
deep in-
do you have to
I'm-
mention loins when we're talking about a show that features children?
I think of Matthew as the main character. Deep in his loins,
His big burly man loins.
deep in those loins,
With his
it's
beard
Tiabu.
that...
That's just how I feel, all right? And that
Uh-huh.
way, if you disagree with me, you're attacking me.
I see some leftover Twitter vibes from the previous week have still lingered.
Oh, man.
Should I be concerned at all for the future of the podcast with your
Ah.
current feelings, or no?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Hey, we'll have to. Well, you got to see the future of the podcast to know whether to be concerned about it. All right. So, hey, tune in next week to see if you should be concerned.
Well, knowing what I have planned for next week does make that interesting.
Oh no, I'm concerned.
But Rem, you haven't seen it yet. So,
Yeah,
but how can you be concerned if you haven't seen it yet?
I got a hunch.
A feeling?
Yeah. So that's, every time it's like it's like a little birdie told me, but instead it's not like I got a little message. It's like a little birdie that I was watching it fly and then it died midair and fell into my hands. And I'm like, I don't know exactly what this means, but it doesn't have good vibes. Once again, it doesn't feel good in the loins.
No. Not a burning in the loins, but a deep, deep shuddering cold.
I feel a great dread in my loins. Do you ever experience loin dread?
Well, I mean, once or twice with one of my exes, I suppose. Oh my god almighty, Rem. But hey, well, there you go. Then you got a nice little break this week. Think of it that way. And a chance to talk about something that you've never really had the chance to talk about before. That being Canadian literature from the early 1900s.
Hell yeah.
But we know what you think, Rem. What do you think the weeps think about this? What do you
Oh,
think
man.
the mouse score is for this one?
I'm trying to figure out if this has like a niche but dedicated audience or not much of an audience.
Yeah, and I will reiterate, Anne of Green Gables has been adapted into anime on multiple occasions, like throughout the years, as well as like different manga adaptations as well. So like,
Sure.
it's a very weirdly popular story, and I have seen a document that was sent to us like in between recordings, because we're a little late on this recording, and they're like, "Oh man, Shaun didn't explain the full reason why this story is popular overseas." And I'm like, "No, I didn't, because that would take a minute. That would take a minute." and heartfelt stories don't usually lend themselves to comedy.
Yeah, fuck your heartfelt nonsense.
I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, Rem.
Only send us the worst shit, all right? We
Rem, the monkey paw just curled there. Long story short, a combination of a very dedicated translator, a missionary, and World War II.
I feel like that sums up just like a lot of really just cultural interplay, generally speaking.
Yes.
You could just have those three things.
Correct.
So, all right. Regis, I'm going to use one of my lifelines to guess the mouse score.
Oh, all right, cool. I will call Regis up. I have him on speed dial.
I would like, obviously asking the audience that's what I'm trying to decipher, right?
Okay.
So I just want to know, if I were to ask the audience, how many people am I asking?
Oh, I see. You want to know like the rough size.
Yeah, I just want to know about how many people have rated it, because I think that will be the pivotal piece of information I need to figure out which lens to look at this through.
Okay. Well, Rem, it started airing in spring of 2025, and only 6,500 people have rated it.
Ooh, okay, all right. So I'm gonna bump my estimate up, because these are either, right?
Yeah, and it's a full 24 episodes series, so it is still airing at this time.
These are either the people who are all in on anime generally, who are trying to watch everything in the new season, which they don't have lives, they don't have standards. Or two, they're very interested in this kind of thing.
Thanks, Rem.
I stand by my statement. Or they're very interested in this kind of thing, whether it be Anne of Green Gables specifically, or just like literature, these kind of vibes, etc., etc. So I think it's going to be reasonably high, but I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's above an 8, but I think it's up there. I think it's going to be like perhaps not an 8, but a 7.78.
7.78. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it was either 7.78 or 7.8 or 7.88, because I wanted to end it in an 8. 7.98 was definitely too high. I was like 7.88 also feels a little high.
But you were set on the 8.
Yeah, 7.78 or 7.8, and I went 7.78.
Strange logic, but it's weirdly worked out for you, because with those 6.5 thousand ratings, Anne Shirley, as it currently airs, is sitting nice and pretty at 7.79.
Oh! You son of a bitch. Right there. Right
yes.
there.
Yeah. Just literally one review could shift it either way. Because
God damn it.
of the people that recommended this, people knew what they were getting into. It's like, oh, it's an adaptation of an old story, and it's just a quite sweet, lovely little version of it. A little awkward at times, but it's very clearly one of those stories that have stood the test of time.
Yeah.
And the only negative written review on it right now is they say that this is nowhere near as good as the old one. Which unfortunately lends itself to not the best criticism, because which old one?
Yeah, there's lots of possibilities there. Plus, a good adaptation doesn't necessarily make a worse adaptation into a bad adaptation. Simply being lesser doesn't necessarily mean bad, though it can mean you end up living in the shadow. As a relevant example, this year I watched, topical because it brought it up in the episode, I watched the 2019 Little Women movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
By far the best adaptation of that. Oh my god. Plus it's got your Wonka boy, Chalamet. So
stupid sexy Chalamet.
your favorite boy to wonk off. In the privacy of your own home.
I see.
Between two consenting wonks.
I don't know how I feel about being construed as Wonka sexual.
Hear me out, Shaun. All right?
Yeah, okay.
So there's furries, and there's furry conventions.
Uh-huh.
What about wonkies? And you have Wonka conventions, where everybody comes dressed as a variation of Wonka, and then there's an orgy.
I would like to formally apologize to our furry audience.
No, furries are more complex than this. Wonkies aren't, all right?
Okay, I see.
Furries are, it's not just a sex thing. Wonkies, it's largely a sex thing.
like the populace of the wonkies out there is just there to get their chocolate covered rocks off.
Yeah, they're who in this life, to wonk and to be wonked. They just want to fuck a Wonka while also being a Wonka. And I think
it is
that
a very
is
twisted
admirable.
version of self-cessed. That is
All right, Shaun.
yes.
All right.
I mean, this episode's not wholesome anymore, so go ahead.
Yeah, it's a fucked episode. All right, there's a button. If you press that button, you will have an orgy with plenty of beautiful women, but the women have showed up specifically attempting to look as much like you as they can.
Huh.
Do you press that button? They're all trying to emulate you. And would it help or hurt if I was the one who taught them how to act like you?
Oh, God.
They're all still in on the orgy, for what it's worth.
Uh-huh.
But I have personally taught them how to be Shaun Rollins.
This is a question that is going to haunt me till the day I die, Remington. I just want you to know that.
Sure. Do you press the button?
Having to participate with women trying to be what Remington perceives of me.
Yeah.
See, the weird thing about that is Rem, I was gonna say before you mentioned the fact that you're the one training them, I was gonna say I don't think I can press the button because Rem, you should know the thing I hate the most in the world is myself, so I don't think that it could happen.
So you think with me doing it, like, it might be removed enough?
I think with you being the one to do so, in theory, like, the version of me that comes forth would either be wildly insulting and different, or, like, genuinely might have some nice aspects of it that it doesn't make me think of myself. So, weirdly, I think you being the one training it makes pressing the button an easier situation. And plus,
Right, so
people have been telling me for years to go fuck myself, so, I mean...
Alright, so you're pressing the button?
I think so, under those parameters.
Alright, well, good news. Hey, Dylan, bring him in! Bring him
Christ almighty, Remington.
Oh, shit.
This is a children's novel. This is a beloved children's novel. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide.
Oh shit! Pitbull is dressed as Shaun. He's invaded the orgy.
Oh no, Pitbull, what are you doing here?
It was so hard to tell because he was dressed and acting just like Shaun.
He had a perfect wig. We couldn't tell.
We thought he was just a sexy lady trying to be Shaun, not Pitbull trying to be Shaun.
Damn it, Mr. Worldwide. Nobody invites you anywhere. Why are you here?
What's happening? Is this episode usable?
I think so. I think so.
Is this episode gonna get cut? Is it gonna?
Dylan's gonna have fun. That's what's gonna happen. But just to keep us on time, final question for you, Rem. Is there any chance you'd like to watch a little bit more Anne Shirley?
I don't know. Maybe watch like the dub in the background as I'm doing something else.
I don't know if this has a dub. I'll have to look into that.
In principle. Look, Shaun, you and I both know I'm not actually gonna, all right? We both know this is a rhetorical question to neatly wrap a bow on the episode. We don't need to look into the logistics of whatever the fuck I reply, because it's irrelevant. It's intangible. It's all to just get a general notion of the thing.
That may be true, Rem, but damn it, I'm gonna try with this one. I'm gonna show up one day to your place, be like, hey, Rem, we're gonna watch some Anne Shirley while playing board games.
I don't think there are certain activities that work for second monitor viewing. I don't think board games is one where like second monitor viewing really applies. You can have something on in the background. You can have something on in the background, but that's not second monitor viewing. That's background noise. That's different. That's a different principle. All right. Second monitor viewing, it's something that takes about like a third of your attention, right? Because you'll look over every little while or anytime something dramatic is happening. And you'll be getting the broad gist. You'll see enough to understand, but you'll be focused on whatever the fuck is on your main screen.
I don't know, man. I'm still traumatized from the 12 days of fucking April Fools.
Oh man. All right, let's close this shit up.
All right. With that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Rem dipping his toe into Canadian literature, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcast and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, twitch.tv/anime out of context, where myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/anime out of context, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are attacking our Discord and our Patreon. And on that list, we have a Moe Piece of Trash, Aisha Gudgy, Amazing Muffin, Bento Kato, Blarf, Boring Siren, Rock Hard for you dudes, play Bloodborne, I beg you. I hope that's for Shaun, because boy, I won't, but he will. He will.
I mean, if it gets a PC port, I don't have a PS5.
Oh man, I didn't know it was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. Believe me, everybody's pissed about it. They have been for a decade.
I made assumptions. Cheese Monkey, Calderius, Daddy Rum told me a bedtime story about Sean's nut, Danielle Riot, Dylan Appreciation Day, Erica McCorkle, Europe Fact of the Week, French isn't a real language, Fantide, Farmer Weave's weekly bad joke, why don't vegans moan during sex? They don't want to admit a piece of meat brings them pleasure. Fern the Fern, GE Bottom aka Bear Trap, wild update on the crime in my town. Someone got shot trying to break into another house near me. Jesus Christ. Glenn Michael Dolan, God, hit point. I can't believe I made an account for this. I took a wrong turn. Do you know the way? I will never get more Ace of the Diamond. Now I cry. I'm making Rem call Jean ethnic slurs until you bring back the Chef No Musketeer. All right, gotta look it up. It's a new one, so gotta look it up.
Gotta make sure.
You buckra.
I take it wasn't too bad.
It's just derogatory for white man. It's the most.
From where?
Yeah, apparently has West African origin.
Oh.
But he's used in the US, so I assume it's, yeah.
All right.
If you think about it, Rem's the bottom of this duo. I like licking sardines because it reminds me of her. I'm a Republican and I'm glad Shaun is on my side.
I am categorically not.
Red Pill Rollins, he's here to help us out with branching open our demographic. You know, we want to widen our audience, and so that's why Red Pill Rollins comes in. I'm selling Omega Shaun milk to make rent. Jake Dent, Jam Hands, Jax, Cassidy, King Rich Rock, Lit Nerd 98, Link Jokerl, Lucky Stars, the King of Moe, Macaroni Uchiha, Makeka 7 Hierto. It's so disorienting watching it like from your screen, and it's just
also it's in backwards order from what you're used to.
Yeah.
And also for some reason it's in right ass white mode, even though I definitely didn't have it set to that.
Yeah, it's all wonk. It's all
Patreon
Wonka.
is annoying.
It's all Willy Wonka. All right. Mitsuka is happy because she just got a part in Rascal Does Not Dream of a Railgun crossover episode. Never letting Rem forget about his vampire past. Off to get an eggplant seal to put on my igloo. Omega Shaun milk, now official drink of Goonfest. PJSK addict is still traumatized after Alien Stage and wonders if Shaun hasn't seen it yet. Week 10. Pro tips out of context has run out of things to post. Will come back soon. Professor Fox, Red Pill Rollins thinks Love Stage is a great show because, quote, it's all they deserve.
Jesus Christ.
Red Pill Rollins stopping Elon Pelon in a MAGA hat. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows.
Oh, what the fuck?
Fuck!
No, you can't
all
do
right.
that. You can't do this.
You know, that is hilarious.
That is Patreon, fix your fucking shit.
I think I am because I think I'm gonna have to. All right,
like what the actual fuck?
Behold, as now I transform into a much more sultry man to finish off these Patreon readings.
Oh God, Dylan, I'm sorry.
It's genuinely, it's just because we had to go to another page. It's fucked. Dylan, you're going to be able to figure it out.
Unfortunately, actually, I can't help at all. Patreon's website is completely fucked at the moment. I can't access anything but the main dashboard. I can't view our already uploaded files. I can't go into viewing our audience, which is where we get the patron list. I can't even go into settings right now. So, if you're hearing this in the main episode, Patreon's fucked.
Oh, hey, I'm back. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can send an email over at animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.